Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Whole Home Show. I'm Tony Joe, your host here every week, bringing you tips, education, and updates on house-related matters. Whether you're in the real estate market or if you're looking for decorating or improvement ideas for your home, this is the right place to be. Our show comes to you every week with the support of our show partners. Denise Webster, mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Center's Modern Mortgage Group. JP Sellers, insurance advisor at Westland Insurance. The Sitka Law Group for your real estate, wills and estates, corporate and personal injury needs, and Shoreline Inspections with Reese Jacob and Monica Gass. If you need help or direction in your real estate transaction, give any of the Whole Home Show team members a call. They would love to hear from you. I love being your host here every week. I've been selling real estate here in Greater Victoria since 1991. I've handled hundreds of transactions in our fair city. I'm proud to be ranked as one of the top RE/MAX agents, not only locally here in Victoria, but also in Western Canada and Canada in general. I would be pleased to help you as well, too. You can find me and the rest of the Whole Home Show team members on the website, which is CFAX1070.com, the CFAX site. Look under shows. There you'll find us, The Whole Home Show with me, Tony Joe. All of our contact information is there. Or just Google me, say Tony Joe Victoria. You'll find our contact information. I'd be happy to introduce you to any of our team members. COVID-19 changed the daily habits of virtually everyone, not the least of which is staying in shape. It's been wonderful enjoying the outdoors, visiting parks and areas that maybe we seldom visit before. But what about those whose daily routine was going to the gym? Until phase 3, a lot of the public or membership gyms were closed. And even now, people may be reluctant to go just out of their own safety. But you still got to stay in shape. And how about working out at home and putting together what you've always intended to do, having a home gym? Today, we're talking first with Riley Carter. He is a fitness trainer, a personal trainer. He's with Movement Coaching. He'll be talking about getting in-home training or just getting an accountability partner for your health. We'll also be talking with Marina Uzlak from Holistic Chiropractic. She's a chiropractor in the Oak Bay Village. She'll be talking about keeping your chassis or your frame in order. And finally, Paul Madden from Fitness Depot will talk about outfitting your home gym. We start with a weekly listener question or story. And if you have one, give us a call. Let us know. We'd be happy to talk with you. We want to hear your real estate stories and struggles. And if you have one, just give us a call, 250-414-6540. Leave a message, 250-414-6540, or find us online again. I want to bring up today another message from one of our intrepid listeners. I've heard from him many times before by email. We've had some great conversations. This is Ryan, and he sent an email a few days ago talking about this whole thing about listing properties for sale low and hopefully getting bidding wars, multiple offers. But he has observed, he's seen, and he feels that places like his neighbor behind him maybe sold for below market value and a little too soon. Actually, I'll read you the story here. One of the comment that he makes is the perception that as an agent, it would be tempting to underprice a listing to make a quick sale because getting the right price would take twice the work for a lousy 10% more in commission. So there must be a temptation to underprice. His question, though, was, when I hire a listing realtor, how can I tell if they are underpricing to make a quick, effortless commission or overpricing to lure me to them to get a higher price? That's a really great question, Ryan. And again, thanks for asking it, and thanks for messaging. Actually, I love hearing from the listeners when you have questions like this. So again, working out the story here, how do you know about whether or not the agent's picking the right price? Well, the main thing is, I hope that you're going to have a fulsome conversation with the listing agent where the agent is able to show comparables, able to show other properties that are either similar in the neighborhood or similar in attributes that could directly compare to your house. And they should be sales, not just active listings, but things that have sold recently, say depending on the marketplace, but right now, within the last week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month, not any further. You don't go back 6 months today because the market has changed quite a bit. So you need to have this fulsome conversation about pricing so that he or she is able to demonstrate to you the differences in price points and price bands. Because here's something that I typically find is there is a correlation between price and time. And what I mean by that is when you look at properties that sell in 5 days, 7 days, it's a really short amount of time, by the way, and any homeowner might go, oh my goodness, that's really quick because it took me maybe, 2 months, 3 months to sell last time. But if you see sales that happen in 5 or 7 days, they typically will sell very strong in price, if not above list price. That's what we call that whole bidding war, multiple offer situation. You see, one of the things in a market like today is the market is self-correcting. The market is self-correcting. So as long as it's in the market segment that has a lot of activity, and we're talking, by the way, right now, detached single-family homes, 700,000 to a million, or maybe 1,000,001. Greater Victoria, that is the white hot marketplace. $5 million in Camosun, for instance, is not white hot marketplace. That's a whole other area altogether. But if something is in that white hot marketplace, even if an agent mistakenly underprices a property, what will happen is there will be a ton of activity. There will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, sometimes 20 offers in place. And that's what I mean by self-correcting market. The property will sell often at a vastly higher price than anyone expected. Now, Ryan, you've mentioned to me a couple times in the emails here that you feel that the neighbor sold below market value. We don't know all the facts. Like, I know that you know the house, but there are other aspects in play as well too. So for instance, timing. Did the seller need a specific date that the buyer was able to give them? Were there inclusions or exclusions that were important? Were there things like tenancies that were being assumed? There's a whole number of reasons why. Were there issues with the building inspection? If the price did sell below, is it because there is drain tile issues and it was identified that the buyer would have to spend $20,000, $30,000 on a new drain tile system? There are so many things to know, but like I said, the main thing is that the market really and truly is self-correcting. I have to say, I do not agree with you about the attitude of agents, that agents will want to purposely underprice so they make a quick sale and boom, there you go. You see, we are a professional industry. We get in trouble if that is in fact what has happened. Our obligation and our mandate is to get maximum result for our clients, the client being the seller. And I would say it is always a conversation between the seller and the listing agent to strategize exactly how they're moving forward. So when you see a listing that is underpriced, and you know those ones, you see an $800,000 house is listed at $725 or $699, we all look at those and go, oh, that one there is underpriced because they want the whole multiple offer bidding war situation. Listen, I got to say, I wouldn't blame just the listing agent there, because homeowners want that. Homeowners call us and say, get me multiple offers. I want to see 5, 10 offers on the table. How do we do that? Well, the advice might be to price it lower in that way. I got to tell you, I have mentioned before on this program, I do have issues when properties are that far underpriced. I believe it's not fair that you get somebody who, for a brief moment, feels they might be able to get that $800,000 house for $700,000 and they lose sleep over it and they never had a chance. I think that's really unfair and it's not really nice. But the main thing, Brian, is it is always a conversation between the seller and the listing agent. And this goes back to your original question was, how do you know? How can you tell? Well, look at the numbers. You need to speak with an agent that's able to articulate exactly what the sales are, what they will do for you, and especially their experience, because multiple offers are one of those things where experience definitely pays. So to have somebody who's experienced in handling multiple offers, not all agents have, by the way, That is really, really important. Thank you for your message always, by the way, because you are a regular listener, and I really appreciate you. If anyone else has any question, let us know. And you can always listen to our program on iTunes or Google Play if you are a podcast listener. We need to take a break here. When we come back, we'll be talking about staying in shape during COVID times, setting up your home gym, and some chiropractic tips. We'll be back in just a moment. Thanks for coming back. You are listening to The Whole Home Show, and I'm Tony Joe. We're talking today about what's happened with us as we exist more at home. We're hanging out at home. We are not going to the office as often. We're hearing a lot more instances and stories of employees that are able to work remotely, and that employers are, they have great procedures and policies in place to make sure that all of their employees are staying safe. Not necessarily going to their place of work as they normally did. But it also means that we have to adjust our own lives, not the least of which is working out. And that's my next guest right now. It's Riley Carter. Riley is a personal trainer with movement coaching. Riley, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Tony. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, listen, I just need to let the listeners know my background with you. We're not strangers. You have been a trainer for me for years. I've known you for, I think it's about 4 years now.
Yeah. I think about 4.
Yeah. And, I've seen you at different places. Thrilled that you are running your own coaching and training company, because I got to say, you are fantastic. So just to get it out there for our listeners to know, if you're looking for a personal trainer, you got to give Riley a call because he's gentle. You're gentle.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Well, I don't know. You're
gentle soul.
You're gentle, but you make it such that, we're still in pain, but it's in a good way.
Functional, right?
Well, yeah, there we go. Okay. So the reason why I have you here today, and we're talking to Paul later about outfitting your home gym, because that's a good idea right now.
Yeah.
And that is, my wife and I have you coming in every week. So you are giving us personal training in our basement. I need to make sure listeners know COVID protocols, you've got your procedures in place. We've ensured that, each other, we haven't traveled, and, we don't have exhibit COVID issues and stuff. But it's so important because I've had this home gym ever since I built this. I built the basement 13 years ago, and I never use it. Right?
Yeah.
So it's because we all have the best of intentions. It's like, I'll go work out, but we never do. But when I know I need to see Riley Wednesday at 12:30, I'm ready and I'm good to go. So tell the listeners, what exactly do you do?
Oh, great, Tony. So one of the things I do primarily is home visits or outside visits. And it kind of all started when COVID hit. And so right now, what I do is I either go to people's houses like yours, or I meet them outside. So all very COVID friendly, wear a mask, Lysol wipes, wipe down all the equipment, and of course, 6 feet apart, hand sanitize, you name it. And then also what I do is I do some online coaching. So if people are in town and they're, maybe a little further out of town, they don't want anyone in their house, I provide online programs from them as well, with constant communication and feedback using my knowledge and expertise. And then as well as I do some social distance boot camps outside in parks, and no one has to share equipment, and it's mostly body weight that combines mobility, some other movement, and some strength training.
And because this is the thing, I got to say from my own experience, like I first of all, I'm getting older, so I need help, right?
Yeah.
You get there's more creaks and all that stuff. I've been working out since I was a kid, but it's kind of like, what do you do next? Right?
Yeah.
You need that help, and having someone like you kind of work somebody through a workout, 60 minutes flies by in like a nanosecond, because you got us constantly moving and stuff. What is it like certification wise? What does one need to be a certified fitness trainer?
So one needs your basic insurance level, and there's so many different levels of that. You've got your BCRPA, college diplomas, undergrads, kinesiologists. I found the most important certification you can get is actually the human connection and the understanding people, because we can have all the knowledge we want in the world, but if we can't truly hear what someone needs, but then also identify what they want, all your certifications are kind of useless. So you use all of that knowledge to keep people safe. But the real trick is understanding people and really hearing what they're saying when they're asking you these questions of, what they want to get out of it, how they want to feel, how they want it to affect their life. All of these things, it's hard to teach that. And so you got to have the personal skills to understand what really someone's saying. And you got to build the relationship and get into it from that standpoint. So my goal is never to train someone as hard as they possibly can, because that's easy to do. You want to bring someone to a point where they feel good, they're getting the benefit of exercise, but they can continue with their life and go on a day-to-day basis and not be crippled and worried about, doing the rest of their life, because that's important. Not all of us, general population, doesn't exercise to feel so sore the next day you can't move. That's most people. I'm the same.
Because that's what you're talking about. I mean, there's nothing worse than having like this monster workout and you can't even get out of the car the next day because your legs are burnt out or whatever, right?
Well, exactly. Right? Like, people have kids and jobs that they're physically active in, or, just day-to-day tasks that they need to be mobile and they need to feel good doing. So of course we're going to complement that and make sure that they're able to achieve those tasks more efficiently, stronger, picking up your kids, having more energy for them. But doing that in a healthy way is important.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing. I mean, you may remember like years ago when I first met you, my objective, I mean, again, I'm getting older. I'm not a kid anymore, right?
Right.
Because I do a lot of teaching and speaking and all that kind of stuff, I needed energy, and I wanted natural energy that wasn't coffee or wasn't, all the other stuff. And that's how this has come very handy and how you're helping me right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Tony. And, it's the days of the traditional strength training workout as hard as you possibly can, in my opinion, that's changing a lot. And people are starting to realize that that's not all exercise can be. That's not all health. And I still think there's a lot of people that kind of view health and fitness and have that barrier of that extreme and thinking that, it's an all or nothing kind of thing. And that in order to be healthy, you have to be all in. And I really want to remove that barrier for people and help them see that exercise is to truly benefit you. It's not to make you feel super sore the next day. It's to improve the quality of your life.
Yeah. Hey, so just out of curiosity, what that you recall, how old is the oldest client that you've had or you work with?
That I've ever worked with?
Yeah.
She was 85. Yeah,
wow.
85. Two times a week.
Yeah.
And for her, it was just being able to walk around the turkey head in Oak Bay. She wanted to continue to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was an awesome person to train. Lots of stories. Yeah. Had a great life, and she was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. So basically never too old, right?
Never too old. And what we find is the sooner you do it and stay active with it, you can continue to do that through your life. Because the moment you stop doing it is when you get really affected by it and you're unable to do the things you love. Yeah. So it's really... Sorry, go ahead.
And it's not just the workout. So again, you are there to direct people like me through a workout. It's a very it's a packed 60 minutes, stretching, cool down, all that kind of stuff. But another component of it is coaching people on eating habits, dietary stuff, right?
Yep. No, eating habits is a big one. And also just looking at the whole person and seeing what they're missing, so to speak, right? I mean, you've heard the term holistic health, like we had Marina on there earlier. I guess I come from it more from like a cognitive, mental side, as well as nutrition and physical. And, through the whole COVID thing, a lot of people were missing that interaction. Obviously, they're at home, but also in, some group class scenarios or other gyms that you go to regularly, you see the same people, and it's a huge social aspect. And not everyone has the motivation to just work out at home. So being able to provide that and bring people together in a close environment, I've really noticed it helped people mentally as well as physically.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. If ever there was a time that people should be looking at this, I mean, now is the time. I know, because I went to the fitness equipment place, and just when COVID went down, right? And I saw empty shelves. So it told me something was going on. People are working out of home, right?
Yeah. I mean, we had a huge shortage for a long time in fitness. We're just starting to see it come back up. But I've always said, and I think I told you this, the best gym is the one you're going to use. So you can have all the
Yes.
equipment you want in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
If you don't use it, it's useless, right? So I'm glad that people are doing that, and it's just making sure that people are staying safe and understanding how to use this equipment.
Yeah.
And you really can't go wrong.
Awesome. So, what would be a good person that should call you? How can you help them?
So to narrow it down, the average person I would help is between the age of 40 to 60 that, have some young kids, they live a busy lifestyle, and they need some accountability to get their health and fitness in. So whether that's, 1 or 2 times a week, phone calls, nutrition plans, any kind of accountability, and people that just need that regular appointment like you would do in anything, right? I mean, chiropractic, massage, you need to make that appointment to make it a regular occurrence. And for a majority of people, if they don't have that appointment, they just don't prioritize themselves. So I call it an accountability buddy. I can be your accountability buddy,
Yeah.
and just knowing that someone's going to show up and be expecting you to be there and being there to help you is huge. So anybody that really needs that extra edge, whether it's from a mobility, I want to move better, I want to just feel better, feel stronger, and feel more confident.
Perfect. Well, listen, I have to say, I love being at work at my desk and then walking downstairs to see you on Wednesday at 12:30. So I'm not going far. I'm not driving. I'm
No.
not parking or whatever. And then once we're done our workout, I walk back up to my desk, a little sore, but I can get back to work like instantly. The productivity is fantastic. I got to say, I'm a huge fan of this whole notion of in-home training, and I've known you for years. And I got to say, man, you make it easy. It is great, and I am thrilled that I'm back on your accountability thing. And I got to say, anyone who's thinking they need this, got to give you a call. So tell us your website, because the spelling's kind of different, right?
Yeah, so it's movement coaching, but the website is mvmntcoaching.com.
Yeah, vowel-less, no vowels. Yes.
Vowel, exactly, vowel-less.
Okay.
Kind of a funky way of spelling it.
Awesome. And I will post your contact information on the CFAX webpage. But thanks for joining us, Riley.
Thanks for having me, Tony. And if anyone even has any questions and they just want to know what path to start on, I'm happy to offer some help.
Amazing. Thank you. We need to take a quick break here. We'll be back in just a moment. Thanks for coming back. You're listening to The Whole Home Show, and I'm Tony Joe. Our show comes to you every week with the support of our show partners: Denise Webster, mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Center's Modern Mortgage Group; JP Sellers, insurance advisor at Westland Insurance; the Sitka Law Group for your real estate, wills and estates, corporate and personal injury needs; and Shoreline Inspections with Reese Jacob and Monica Gass. If you need help or direction in your real estate transaction, give any of the Whole Home Show team members a call. They would love to hear from you. And again, you can find their information by visiting cfax1070.com. Look under shows. There you'll find us, The Whole Home Show with me, Tony Joe. Or you can always reach out to me at the Prime Real Estate Team, primeteam.ca. Happy to connect with you. A reminder as well, if you're a podcast listener, we do post all of our shows. This is episode 172. We're on iTunes or Google Play. And we're also recording on video all of our episodes while we're recording in isolation here out of my home studio. You can find us on YouTube or visit the Prime Real Estate Team on Facebook. We've been talking about staying in shape. Of course, we're living under different times right now. People are self-isolating. Life isn't back to the way it was before. We had a conversation with Riley Carter a moment ago. We'll be speaking with Fitness Depot after our next break to talk about outfitting your home gym. But right now we have with us in her own clinic, Marina Uzlak. Marina is with Holistic Chiropractic in the Oak Bay Village. Welcome, Marina.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, we're talking about COVID and, it's been a difficult time for many. What happened in the chiropractic industry when we were in phase one and things locked down? Like, could you see people at that time?
Well, technically, we were considered essential services. So yes, theoretically, we were allowed to see people, but there was a lot of there was a hazy area there. It was, only if someone was acute and they couldn't function. And which pretty much describes most people who come in here, but people were very hesitant about coming in. So for the first month or so, we were pretty much closed. And then come April or so, that's when I started reaching out to people to let them know we are essential. So if you're not doing well, please let us know. And sure enough, people came out of the woodwork and were really suffering. So I started to trickle back in April, but the massage therapists didn't get back till May. So now as of May 19th, we've all been here full force.
Yeah, and then COVID protocols with masks and stuff like that.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. All the cleaning and keeping the entrances open and no crowds and that sort of thing. Everything is in protocols, which is great.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why, I mean, of course, people might be thinking, hey, it's not a health program. Why are we talking with Marina today about chiropractic? This is a real estate show. It's a home show. Of course, our theme today is, just staying healthy. We have personal training. We're talking about, having a home gym and stuff. When people are home and they are working out of home and they are in some degree of self-isolation, we're supposed to be only with whatever it is, 60 or 65% of the people we normally would be with. This has got to be bad for people that have not just back problems, but just for people's posture and all that stuff probably, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things I've had to really focus on with people in terms of teaching them what they need to do to get themselves sort of back healthy, back ready while staying at home. Initially, when people were staying at home, it was an uncertain time frame. So everyone was at their kitchen tables or their, hardwood dining room tables, and no one really thought much about what that would do long term, but that really has played poorly on people's back health. So one of the things I tell people now is that if you're going to be staying home for any length of time, to look into a standing desk situation. I see, Tony, that you are sitting right now, so that's something that you want to consider doing. And so that's something, there's lots of different options out there. You can, these portable units you can put on your desk that kind of extend up so you can stand. Standing is really the antidote to what's happening right now with the staying at home, working from home situation. As much as you can stand, get into an ergonomic posture, and that's, that obviously is everyone's different in terms of what that looks like, but the main thing is just to get up.
Yeah.
And if you can't get a standing situation because it's, it's costly, your employer won't pay for it right now, then put a timer on your phone and get up every half an hour.
Oh, goodness.
Get up and move, go get a drink, walk around, just move. The movement itself is lubrication for those joints.
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up, because I find myself every once in a while, because all of a sudden the workstation is also kind of, you're going on YouTube, you're, doing some entertainment or whatever, right? And all of a sudden, you've been at the desk for like 8 hours, not getting up. And I kind of feel it sometimes too, you start.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just the gravity and the compression, especially on those lower discs. It's a thing. We're not built, call it poor design for today's world. Our bodies are not built for sitting. Maybe one day we'll evolve into these little sitting creatures, but for now we are meant to stand and walk and move around. So any chance you get up and move. Don't be caught in that scenario where it's been 8 hours and you haven't moved, because you will pay for it later. So I would say get that phone and get the timer going, and every 30 to 45 minutes, 30 preferably, get up and move and stretch it out. So I'm a big fan of that. Just get up.
Love it. Yeah. So tip, there's a tip right there. Get yourself a timer. And everyone's got a smartphone. It's easy enough to do, right?
Absolutely.
So when people were home and self-isolating and stuff, like, were you seeing more instances? Like, were people having more issues, or?
Yes, issues with sitting down, issues with not moving, and issues with sitting on hard surfaces. So it was one of those things that they didn't necessarily correlate it to that. But then when we started talking about what is your workstation at the workplace in your office, oh, I have a standing desk. Have you ever had this low back issue since having the standing desk? No, I'm great. So it seems to be related to being at home, sitting at the dining room table or the kitchen table. Very much a problem right now.
Well, I mean, I know, like our dining room, I don't use it for work, but if I was sitting at my dining room table, those chairs are not made for work,
No,
right?
they're not. And even the chair that you're in there, it's comfy. It looks like it's padded, and it's got all the bells and whistles, which is great. But still, we're just not meant to be sitting,
Mm-hmm.
gravity pushing down on those lower segments for long. So it's always a good idea to get up,
Yeah.
and like I said, get the standing situation, which is even better. So look at re-outfitting your home and do the best you can to not be standing for any length of time, or I'm sorry, sitting for any length of time.
So the other thing too, and this is kind of hard on the radio, obviously, because people are listening to you here. But
Yeah.
one of the things you always espouse, because I go and I see you, you're my chiropractor,
Mm-hmm.
and just talking about mobility and exercises and stretches and stuff like that, which I think are probably more important now than they ever were before, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Getting up, it's one of those things that you should have a stretching routine that you
Yeah.
do when you get up. I like to do, it's like I call it, the QL stretch I've showed you, which is the side stretch where, you have a wall and you're sort of doing a side bend against the wall. It's just opening up those segments that are being compressed when you're sitting down for any length of time. So get into anything, really, just moving is going to be helpful. But I think it's important that you talk to your practitioners and your trainers and people to say, I'm at home for a while, I'm sitting a lot, what can I do to get up and stretch those segments out when I have my breaks from sitting?
Yeah, because really that's the biggest change in life. Our lives have changed because
Absolutely.
our work environment has changed. And yeah, as you know, I mean, because you've been in our office as well too, we've got the desks, the raising desks and stuff. So
I've heard this.
in the office, those are very handy. But you're right, I don't have it here. I do find myself every once in a while working on the raised breakfast bar that we have in the kitchen. And our
Which
house.
is a good option. Yeah. And that would be the alternative. I tell people, if you have an island and you have a laptop, at least that is an option. Put your laptop on there. If it's really a little bit lower than you'd like, just take a wide stance, get into almost a squatting position, just kind of, get a wider stance just so that you are up and moving. And change positions often. Don't be stuck in one position, even with standing. Get moving.
So important.
So important, absolutely.
Yeah, just a reminder to everyone. Number one, chiropractors are open and they're there for you. So you are available, Marina. Your location again is?
I'm at 2250 Oak Bay Avenue. We're in the Monterey News building, down there in the courtyard.
You're below the Oak Bay Bistro.
Below the Oaks restaurant.
Yeah. The Oaks, I'm sorry, Oaks restaurant.
Yes, the Oaks, yeah. And so, yeah, you're absolutely, we are happily treating people and open for business.
That's great. And your website is holistic
chiro.ca.
Perfect. And I'll post that on the CFAX website here. If anyone has any questions, always a great person to chat to, Marina Uzlak. Thanks for joining us, Marina.
Thanks for having me, Tony. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we need to take a quick break here. We'll be back in just a moment. Thanks for coming back. You're listening to The Whole Home Show, and I'm Tony Joe. Today, we're talking about staying healthy and making sure you're maintaining your physical energy, especially during times of self-isolation. Because, of course, we've been dealing with this whole COVID thing for a number of months. And one of the big questions and concerns or issues that happened was when the rec centers closed and when the gyms closed, what are people going to do to stay healthy? And, of course, we've had conversations with Marina, the chiropractor, and Riley, the personal trainer, coming to your home. But, you need stuff for your home gym, which is the reason why we have with us right now from Fitness Depot, Paul Madden. Paul, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me, Tony.
Yeah, so your role at Fitness Depot is a fitness consultant, right?
Yes.
Great. So first of all, tell us about the shop, where it is, and what people can get from you.
We pretty much outfit home gyms, commercial gyms, condos, stratas, everybody. We help everybody out. We're located over on 721 Van Almen Avenue.
Yep.
A lot of people, we're just up the road from Red Barn on Glanford.
Fantastic.
Our store hours, we're open every day. We're open Monday to Saturday, 11 to 5, and Sundays, 12 to 5. So.
Okay. So let's go back a few months now, and let's talk about when COVID hit, because that was one of the big things is, of course, the gyms were closed. People couldn't go and do their regular routine. You guys probably got a lot of phone calls, right?
Yes. March 16th is the day the first gym closed down in Victoria, and then it was just a feeding frenzy for fitness equipment then.
Yeah, we were talking empty shelves, like hard to find dumbbells, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what were people looking for? So when they are thinking about, you know, and we're not talking about needing to have like a gym in the basement. People are working out, spare room, under the deck, whatever, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's some of the equipment that was sort of like the most sought after, things that people are looking for?
Probably dumbbells and kettlebells are the most popular because they're so versatile. They're kind of easy to transport,
Hmm.
but pretty much everything. And surprisingly, cardio is very popular now, even though we're in the summer. I think a lot of people just want to stay ahead of the second wave
Yeah.
that could be coming, right? So,
Yeah. And what are they using for cardio?
cardio, a lot of people are going treadmills, spin bikes, rowers, ellipticals, pretty much everything cardio, yeah.
Yeah. So then is it an abnormal year as far as moving this type of equipment, or is it what's it been like?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Usually the summer normally would slow down, but it's been steady. And
Yeah.
again, summertime, more people go outdoors. Cardio is usually a lower seller, but it really hasn't slowed down much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just it's always interesting observing the differences, the change
Yes.
in what's happening out there, right? Of course, one of the big things is with self isolation, and we're supposed to have reduced the amount of people that we're bumping into regularly, maintaining our bubble and stuff. It's amazing how people have found that the things that they leave the house for, they can stay in home doing, right? Which again
Yes.
brings us back to what you guys do, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of people come into the shop. A lot of people know what they want, so it's just a matter of helping them find it. Some people are newer to fitness, and the gyms are closed, so they want to work out at home. So that's when we just take them through a process. What did you do before? What are you looking for? Uh, Important things to consider when buying fitness equipment is how big of a floor space do you have to work out in,
Yeah.
budget, and what's your goal? You're more strength, cardio, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So we try to narrow it down for the customer.
Yeah. And of course, now you personally, you've got a background in fitness training and everything. So when that person walks into your store and doesn't know what they need or what they should be doing, this is an area that you as a sales consultant can help with, right?
No, exactly. Yeah. Even with my degree in exercise science, I am a certified personal trainer. So
Yeah.
people that are brand new, they will come in and I will almost like personal shop with them and show them different exercises. Uh, if they don't have a lot of experience, I can regress exercises, but I just help people get going and show them how easy it is to work out at home.
Yeah, because the other thing too, and I think about it a lot. I mean, we go through a lot of houses. We look through a lot of houses on a daily basis, and you see that fitness equipment that they use to hang clothes on or whatever. Things that people weren't using, but they actually are using now.
Yes.
Because of what we've had to go through. But you must get people that come through and say, "Oh, I want to buy this, and that," and with your expertise and your knowledge, you're probably able to say, "Are you ever going to use that?
Yeah.
Like, why do you need it?" Right?
No, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's kind of a lot of fitness equipment you'll see 6 months later on used Victoria or something, but lately I haven't really seen a whole lot. So hopefully that means people are using their equipment. And then again, the positive side to COVID is people are now using those clothes hangers to actually work out now.
Exactly. Just out of curiosity, are you guys having any issues with shipping? I mean, we know about building supplies and some of these other things where it's hard to get things, either across the border, or a lot of things come from Asia and stuff. Like, what's it been like in the fitness business?
April was really difficult. May, we started to see an improvement, more flow. For some equipment, it is still a bit backlogged, but the important stuff like plate weights, barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, we're starting to see those come in more frequently and staying on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
So, the key items we're able to get in a lot quicker. We got a shipment coming in probably in about 2 weeks, and we're going to have some new benches, some new power racks, giving people more options.
Hey, that's good to know. So for our listeners, if you're thinking about outfitting your gym, you got to know that Fitness Depot's got stuff coming in a couple of weeks, right? Yeah. Is this, I mean, again, it's always been one of those things where people say, oh, we want to have a home gym in the basement. And whether or not they use it, I don't know. When you look back, think fast forward in the future, when you look back to 2020 and March 15th, right? What will you remember this time as relative to what you do and home gym and fitness and all that kind of stuff? Will it be a point in time that stands out?
Like I say, I think March 16th, I just remember that date because the first gym shut down.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden business was tripling, quadrupling. People were pouring into the store.
Yeah.
And it was just a little overwhelming, but me and Chris here tried to do our best to get people the equipment and keep them happy. But
it's a concern, because it makes you wonder when people will start getting comfortable going back to the gyms, and a lot of great gyms in town here.
Yes.
And it's not just the health component, but it's social as well too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be interesting to see in the future is which gyms remained open, which ones closed, unfortunately, but because so many people are building a home gym these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very interesting. Well, again, I'm talking with Paul Madden. He's at Fitness Depot in town. Before I forget here, website, what's the best place for people to visit Fitness Depot?
www.fitnessdepot.ca.
Oh, it doesn't get any easier than that.
No, exactly.
Right, and your location again?
Is 721 Van Almen Avenue.
Great. Now, store hours, is it typical, or are you guys, a lot of stores, of course, have adjusted to COVID times, right?
We were still open every day through COVID. We just reduced our hours to 12 to 5 every day.
Okay.
But after Canada Day, things kind of calmed down a bit. So now we're 11 to 5 and still 12 to 5 on Sundays. But
got it. Hey, is servicing an aspect? Like, do people need to get any sort of equipment serviced? Is that something that you guys handle, or?
We work with a couple of people in town. So if somebody calls and it's not covered under warranty, then we have a couple of people to contact that we can help people out that way.
And when it comes to big pieces of equipment like the treadmills, the universal gyms, or the whatever leg presses and stuff, presumably you guys handle the delivery and install and all that kind of stuff, right?
Oh yeah, we've got a delivery team here. Yes.
Yeah. And of course, talking with Riley, I mean, the whole aspect of having a personal trainer come in, because I gotta say, there's nothing like walking down to your workout from the kitchen.
Yeah.
As opposed to, either riding your bike down or jumping in your car, and the time component, right? This is what we found with COVID right now, is the ability to quick shift from, at your desk at the office to all of a sudden being in your home gym, 2 minutes later, right?
Yes.
And then after your workout, then it's right back to the home office or whatever, right?
No, exactly. And that's the advantage is too, at your home, there's no restrictions, there's no rules. If you want to roll out of bed in your pajamas and work out, go for it, right?
So, but the main thing that people should know is, if they're thinking about a home gym, if they need some help, maybe haven't worked out for a while, they need some direction, all they got to do is just get in touch with you, Paul, at Fitness Depot, and then you can walk them through the process, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Phone number for the shop if people need to reach you?
Phone number here is 778-430-5888.
Great. And I'll post it on the CFAX page as well too. We're nearing the end here, but here's a question for you. What's the most popular piece of home gym equipment?
I'd probably still say dumbbells, because again, they're so versatile. You don't need a lot of them, couple sets of dumbbells and you can do full body.
Yeah. But of course, it helps if people know how to use them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which again is the reason why a personal trainer coming to your house comes in handy. But again, hey, we've got things like YouTube nowadays. People can learn
Yes.
online, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so many things, and of course, you've got bands, you've got tons of other equipment that people can use too, right?
No, exactly. Functional trainers, tubing, bands, geez, lots of other foam rollers, because a lot of people forget about recovery. You
Yeah.
know, you need
Oh,
to stretch and
and the other thing too is we're not just talking about the young, right? I mean,
yes.
there's going to be a lot of seniors who are, wanting to work on their mobility, and they are also a client for you as well, right?
Oh, yes. We help everybody from, young teenagers up to I've had clients over in their 80s coming in.
Yeah, good for
So,
them.
yeah, exactly. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us, Paul. Again, Fitness Depot on Van Almen. Having a great chat today about how to stay healthy during self-isolation and COVID times with Riley Carter, personal trainer, also with Marina Uzelac, chiropractor. So many important things. COVID's really made us change the way we live. And, talking to Paul here at Fitness Depot, there's no better thing to think about maybe converting a room that you never use into a little home gym, right,
Absolutely.
Paul?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us, Paul. And for the rest of our listeners, we'll be here for you this time next week.
Excellent. Thanks.